California's Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association.
Warm sunshine, swaying palm trees, and breathtaking ocean views make Orange County the OC, a relaxing vacation destination that is always in season. 42 miles of inviting beaches are right next door to world-class shopping and internationally renowned art festivals. Close by are championship golf courses and two of California's famous attractions, the Disneyland Resort and Knott's Berry Farm. Log on to visittheoc.com today. Learn why in the OC, it's forever summer.
Laguna Beach. Soft sand beaches, hidden coves, majestic canyons. Be inspired or simply disappear for a while in this historic artist village in the heart of Orange County. Dine at world-class restaurants, dolphin watch, kayak, or just tan on its sun-soaked beaches. Home to world-class arts festivals, Laguna Beach is filled with unique galleries and shopping, a museum and playhouse. Enjoy oceanfront lodging, walk cliffside, or explore tide pools. Do it all or do nothing at all. Laguna Beach.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell. Get ready for an adventure, because on this absolutely spectacular day, we've come to Orange County. Specifically, right now, we're standing in the city of Newport Beach. Now, I know at first glance that's hard to believe, because look out here at this beautiful, big, natural, pristine area. This area looks this way because it's an ecological reserve, and this is a very special place. It's so special, we're going to be spending the whole day here in this reserve. Look at the snow on the mountains in the distance. This is going to be a beautiful day in this place that is a fine example of California's gold. Well, it's time to start our adventure, and as we start this day, it's always good, Roger, for us to get our bearings. We've hooked up with Roger Mallett. What's the name of the organization you're from, Roger?
I'm with the Newport Bay Naturalists and Friends, and we're a support group here for California Department of Fish and Game, Orange County Parks, California Coastal Commission, and the city of Newport Beach.
Wow, that's a lot of people connected with this area. What are we looking at right here? How big an area is this, and what is it exactly?
Okay, we have an area of about 1¼ square miles, and it's mostly wetland and a specific type of wetland called an estuary. This is the largest remaining natural estuary in Southern California. Estuaries are very important. Estuaries are where freshwater and saltwater mix. Shallow areas of water, lots of sunlight, plenty of nutrition. What we have here is we have an abundance of food for migrating birds. It's the spawning ground for a lot of important fish like the halibut and the sea bass. So there are many, many reasons why this was made into an ecological reserve back in 1975.
There's a lot going on with the fish, with the birds, with the animals who live here. There's also a lot going on with the humans who enjoy this area, and that's kind of what we're going to be part of today. We're going to be interacting with people and with nature and just kind of get the whole feel of what it's like to visit this place. There's a lot to see and do, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, every weekend we have so many things going on. This weekend we actually have a walking tour going on at the north end of the bay. It's called the Friends Tour. It's actually been conducted the second Saturday of the month in the winter for the last 40 years.
Wow.
One of our predecessor organizations was actually here, at that time, and was instrumental in getting this to become an ecological reserve.
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot more than that walking tour, because this is kind of deceiving right here. Everything looks so peaceful and quiet. We're getting ready to dive into it, not literally, but figuratively, into all the energy and activity that's going on in this absolutely beautiful place. Well, we didn't have to wait very long to dive into the activity. What's going on here, Robin? We got a lot of people standing on shore, and they're bringing in a fish net.
They sure are. They're actually in the process of doing a beach seine, which helps us determine what we have out here in the back bay.
So these students are from...
They're actually from Cal Poly Pomona.
Is this a thing that happens here a lot where you bring in students to...
It does. It actually happens once a month that we do this monitoring here in the Back Bay. And we tend to rotate usually with different classes that will come out, different colleges and different high schools.
Well, let's see what they're getting. Are they going to get anything? They didn't put the net very far out.
They actually did already. They've already deployed it.
Now, wait a minute. Here's a beer bottle.
Here's some evidence of why we're doing this. We're trying to protect the Back Bay. This is the type of thing that we see all the time back here that runs down from the watershed.
Wow, so this trash comes down from
the urban
up in
areas.
The mountains.
Actually, not so much the mountains, but the urban areas that are upstream, because we get the fresh water that comes down with the rains, and it brings all the trash with it.
Well, let's talk positive for a minute. I'm going to put that down for a minute, and then we'll throw it away. Here comes the net.
Here it comes.
Now,
so
how do we know there's anything in there?
Well, what they're going to do...
strike out completely?
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. But you know what? It totally depends on the time of year. Depending on what time of year, we might have more animals that we get. It also, we do this 3 times today, and so it's so funny. One time you might get absolutely nothing, and another time you might get 100 fish.
Did we get anything in the net?
Not at this moment.
Nothing.
We're going to have to put it out a second time. It kind of inverted on itself.
Well, but that's good. This is a learning experience.
It is, and it's a scientific process that the students get a chance to learn how we do this in the real world, the scientific way of sampling.
And they learn that if at first you don't succeed, you throw the net in the second time.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Well, let's see what we got today. Woo.
And here comes the... Well, what are we looking at here?
Here are some roots right there that was washed in from the recent rains that we had. A lot of leaf litter as well. Oh, here we go. There's a sponge, very important to the Back Bay because it kind of helps provide a cleansing mechanism to filter out some of the materials that are in the water.
Oh, look, you've got a fish.
Got a couple of fishes here. All right.
Now, what is this?
Well, the students here are going to identify it for us in a couple of minutes, but it's one of the more common flatfishes we have in the Back Bay. And here's another one, a smaller version.
So you're not just collecting fish, you're collecting...
invertebrates, and here is...
what is that?
Boy, it looks like the neck off of a clam. We have a clam out here called a gooey duck, which has, it buries itself quite deeply into the mud and has this long neck stick up.
What is this?
These are shell accumulations of some of the bivalves that are found in the Back Bay here, including some mussels. And this is a part of it's probably a razor clam or a oyster. We have these
all
oysters.
This came from out in the deeper part of the bay, out here.
Absolutely, yeah. These are found on the mud or just under the surface of the mud.
Unexpected things coming up from the bottom.
The jellyfish that is usually found closer to the surface, feeding on the plankton, but many of them, after they've lived their life cycle, will die and they begin to sink to the bottom.
Is this a dead or an alive jellyfish?
That one happens to be dead, and it's a very small one. We get them the size of dinner plates back here.
So you gave me a dead jellyfish.
Yeah, if you had
Does
some
anybody
peanut
else
butter.
want to have part of this experience? Come on, let me give it to somebody else. You're the students.
Here's something else that sometimes
Extra credit.
confuse the jellyfish.
What is this? Just a piece of plastic.
Not just a piece of plastic. Unfortunately, plastic has been introduced to the Back Bay and our marine environments at exponential rates in the last couple of decades. And these things have a lot of detrimental effects, which are just now beginning to investigate.
The fish eat them, the birds eat them, choke on them.
And as I was mentioning to the students on the boat out there, this plastic will break down to smaller and smaller pieces till they're the same size as plankton, and then the plankton eaters will begin to consume them. And so plastic's being introduced at the bottom of the food chain rather than just the top of the food chain, which reaches our local news media.
Wow. So Robin, what's going to happen here with these students? They'll be analyzing all of this material, seeing firsthand, you know, what's down there and how it's doing and what's important going on in the bay.
Correct. What happens is that they bring the sample back, they take a look to identify what was caught, and then they'll go ahead and they'll measure and they'll identify everything and record that. And we keep the ongoing logs of everything that we do. We do this once a month, and we keep this ongoing. We've been doing this for about 10 years now.
So it's a learning experience for the students, but it's also a valuable way for you to keep records as to what's going on out in the bay.
That's exactly right. That's the whole point of it. Not only are we educating the students and the citizens of the greater area, but it's also a way for us to gather the data to keep that on record so that we can monitor the health of the Back Bay.
And there's always something going on here at the reserve.
And there is. We actually have a brand new education facility which we're in the process of moving into, and we're going to be having ongoing programs for school kids 7th through 12th grade. We're going to be having research projects for the college level grades, and also some opportunities for the general public as well.
Now get me excited about this, because this is
So we are fishing for mud.
Fishing for mud.
Yes. We're going to try to find all the different worms and invertebrates and things that live down in the mud.
So you're doing the same thing with mud that they've been doing with nets for the fish and the plant life.
Exactly, yeah. So what we do here is if I'm holding it, it's going to be closed. Once I release the rope, it opens. So the way that you fish mud is you drop it down all the way to the bottom. And once it hits the bottom, you pull it up a couple feet and then drop it again to make sure it's open when it hits the bottom. Yeah, looking a little more promising.
All right. Oh,
Dun, dun,
wow.
dun. Yay.
Now, does this get you excited?
It will, because once we rinse through the mud, then we'll be able to see all the worms and...
Does this get you excited? Yes. This is what you want to do for your life's work. Well, this is what makes the world go round, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody gets excited about different things. Right. Mud from the bottom of the bay. But the real story here is there's much more here than meets the eye.
This is true. We have to go pan for gold, I guess, over where we rinse out all the mud and see what's actually living in there.
Part of the story, a big part of the story here at the reserve, are these little plants here. And Matt, your name again is Matt?
Yurko.
Yurko, and you represent?
The California Coastal Commission.
What's the Coastal Commission doing here?
As part of our public education department, we have a community-based restoration and education program. And we have a whole program here. We use all volunteers to take out invasive plants and restore the native habitat with native plants here around the bay.
So these are all native plants?
These are all native plants to the coastal sage scrub ecosystem.
Which is what this is.
Exactly, on all the hillsides around the bay and the bluffs. And we've covered about 12 acres around the bay up till now, and we've got a lot of work to do, but volunteers are working hard and we're doing a good job.
So here they are as little plants.
Exactly.
Is this what makes your heart beat fast, is when you look out and see something like this?
This is beautiful right here. This is the kind of shrubby look that coastal sage scrub has. It provides a great habitat. You see everything in the very green and flush right now after some good winter rains. You even got some nice flowers on that California Celia over there.
So all through here, because out here it's all brown.
Out here it's all brown, and this is, you can see how it just descends directly into a salt marsh. When we have the highest tides here, the water will come up almost nearly to the fence.
Salt water keeps these have to be above the water line.
Exactly.
They can't grow in the salt water.
Exactly. These won't tolerate salt in any way, but the plants that you see just below them, the very low growing plants, those are all salt marsh plants. They're all tolerant of the salt.
Boy, look out here with the people walking on the trails, and they're walking through all of this beautiful. The birds are singing. Boy, this is as pretty as it gets right here. Now, this is what the coast of California used to look like. And this is what this part of the coast of California still looks like. There's a lot going on here every day.
Every single day. This is a multi-use region. You'll find everything from bicyclists, motorists, birders, geologists looking at that Monterey Formation in that cliff over there, which is 15 million years old, full of fossils. We have our breeding ground for our ospreys right here in front of us. We have plants, native California plants, strictly here. Some of them naturally here, some replanted by our volunteers. It's amazing.
Now, Jeff, what's the deal on the osprey?
The osprey, it's a fishing hawk eagle. It used to be called a fish eagle. It's nesting here. It's the first time in Orange County in over 50 years or so that it's nested. This is the third season this pair is nested here.
Wow, so it's a big deal that they're there. Why are they here? Why did they come here?
They used to be here a long time ago. The problem was we had DDT and it lost a lot of the nesting areas. So since the stop of DDT, they've been able to expand back into new areas, and this is one of the areas they're coming back to.
Boy, I know what you're shooting.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, you've been standing here. I've been watching you. You've been standing here for 30, 40 minutes.
I know. I'm just waiting for the flight.
What do you mean the flight?
When they take off to go get some food. So
yeah.
It's getting towards 15 to 11. So usually between 11 and 12 they go out and
How
find
many
some.
years you've been coming by here looking at these birds?
4.
Really?
Yeah.
So you feel like you've kind of gotten to know them.
Oh, absolutely. And these last year they had 3 eggs, and they booted out 1, and now they've the 2 young ones are at the other end of the bay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
So once they grow up, the parents kick them out of the nest.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that long. It takes them a few weeks to learn how to get
so wait a minute, there
wings.
are 2 birds up there. Mother and father are both up there now. Oh, look! Oh, look!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look! Now he's going off to fish.
Yeah, he's going off to fish, and they're trading off on sitting on the eggs. That's what's going on.
All kinds of birds here. What are we looking at over here, Chuck?
Well, we see some double-crested cormorants, a couple of California gulls, and a tern. And these are all migratory birds that come and live here. We do have a bird that's here all the time, and what's interesting is that 70% of the world's number of clapper rails are found here at Upper Newport Bay.
70% of the clapper rails in the world are right here.
Right here.
Where are they?
They're in this cordgrass down here.
It's hard to see them out in there, isn't it?
It's almost impossible. You have to get here early in the morning and stand and wait, and you'll be rewarded. But the cameramen stand here for hours looking for those.
Just to see one of those little
clapper rails.
Clapper rails. 70% of them live right out there. We can't see them right now, but they're there, aren't they?
They're there, and you can hear them at night, and you can hear them early in the morning, and if you're lucky enough when you're around the edge, you can see them.
Now we've walked around to another vantage point here on the bay, and we ran into this fella just standing here looking out at what?
Well, there's all kinds of ducks out here. You've got American widgeon, you've got green-winged teal, cinnamon teal, and there was a very unusual bird in this group that was here a minute ago called a Eurasian widgeon.
Are you a birder?
Yeah, I've done my share of it.
Are you from here?
No, I'm from West Virginia.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm at a meeting up at the Hyatt, and I'm on a break, and so I went to walk and exercise and came down and saw all the ducks, so I thought I'd take a look at them.
You didn't realize you were in the middle of this wonderful reserve, this wildlife reserve.
Well, as they say, miracles happen.
Yeah. And you saw a what?
A Eurasian widgeon, which is a relative of the American widgeon, which is what most of these birds are out here. So there's a few each year that come to the west coast and the east coast, and this bird is probably the only one within maybe 50 to 100 miles around here.
Wow.
So it's a great find, and one I can add to my list of birds for California.
Boy, this is nice over here, Jeff. How long is this pathway here that goes, it cuts all the way through the reserve? Good morning. How you doing? Good morning.
This is a Back Bay Drive. It goes right along the edge of the reserve, and it's been here as long as the reserve's been here.
And so there's hiking, there's biking, there's jogging, there's birding, there's photography.
There's everything you can think of. It's a great opportunity. Most of our reserves don't have this kind of a road where people can just come down and see it. Most of the trails are real limited, so this is a great spot for everybody to get access to it.
Well, it's a way to get into the reserve because you can't really go into the reserve this way, can you? I mean, this is off limits out here.
Definitely. All this area out here is really sensitive habitat. We have endangered birds and plants, and so people can't walk there, but they can walk along it and get to see it all.
Yeah. And it goes all the way around?
It goes all the way around on one side, the length of the reserve.
Which is a couple of miles.
Yeah.
Here comes a happy cyclist right here. Good morning.
Hi, Huell.
You're out for your morning ride?
Yeah, we're going, yeah.
Wow, is this a regular thing for you?
This is a great thing to do. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we do a 20-mile ride and back. We have the bird sanctuary the whole way.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Yeah.
This is such a special place. Do
it's magnificent.
you ever take it for granted? Do you ever, when you're going through here, stop realizing what you've got?
It's just unbelievable. We kayak out here too, and there's no boats or anything. It's really something special.
Yeah.
And these guys do a great job of preserving it.
Well, that's what it's all about,
Yeah, it
preserving it.
Exactly.
Because it could have very easily been developed just like up on top of the bluffs and a marina all through here.
Right, right, right.
You're moaning and groaning.
That would be very sad to see. Yeah, it's so beautiful the way it is. There's so many different kinds of ducks and stuff that I have no idea where they come from, but really beautiful.
And the beauty of all of it is that when we stand here and look out at this, we know that it's always going to be here forever.
Exactly. I can remember years ago, this was a ski zone out here, water skiing. So it's changed a lot over the years.
For the better.
For the better.
Okay, now we've come out on the water. We're on a boat. We're coming right by what is this center called again?
This is the Newport Aquatic Center.
The Aquatic Center, and then you're excited about showing us this dredge over here. There's a big story about this dredge.
Absolutely. I mean, we just passed a sign that said shallow water. That's what we're afraid of here. We're in an estuary where freshwater and seawater mix. Our freshwater is from a watershed of 154 square miles. And when that water drains down into the bay, it brings all of the silt and the mud that's washed down during a heavy storm.
You need to get some of this out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing kayak tours here for 8 years now, and in certain areas, I've been seeing about 6 inches of sediment building up every year. So what is happening is, obviously, boats like this can't get back where they could. It also affects the spawning of fish like the halibut because they don't have that shallow water area to spawn in anymore. So there are a lot of reasons why we need to do this dredging.
Wait a minute, look over here. This is party central over here.
Yeah, yeah. So,
look at this.
Absolutely. People come down here just to enjoy the water, and as I said before, some of them go up into the bay for a nice mellow nature experience, and some
party.
Some of them party, and some head down the bay, and actually some of them even paddle out as far as Catalina and back.
Well, we may party a little later on, but right now, look where we're heading. Right out here, and we're going into the Upper Bay itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually, just about in the ecological reserve boundaries here. Most of the area of about a square mile is water. And as the tide goes out, we start seeing mudflat. And then another habitat that's very important here is salt marsh. So over there,
that's the salt marsh.
Yeah, what you can see here is a grass called cordgrass that actually grows with its roots submerged in salt water.
Look at these bluffs. So these bluffs off in the distance, and then we're coming right up on them now. This is spectacular as well.
Yeah, and these cliffs, they're made of diatomaceous earth. So some people use this for swimming pool filters. It's also used for filtering milk and juice.
Well, nobody's using any of that for anything.
Oh no, this stays here. I mean, they're not going to mine it here, but they mine it elsewhere.
Boy, look at this though. This is so beautiful right out here, going into the reserve itself, going into the Upper Bay. Here comes a pelican. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Hi.
Hey, I'm enjoying your show.
Thank you. Friendly people out here too. What's this group out here? They look organized.
Okay, well that's Paul. He's another one of our naturalists. He's leading a kayak tour out of the Newport Dunes. We do this every Saturday morning throughout the year.
This is part of the organized tour you could come on, a little kayak tour.
Yes, I mean we do them Saturday and Sunday.
Wow, look at this. What a beautiful way to spend the afternoon on a Saturday afternoon in California. Doesn't get any better than this. Now, where are we going? Do we weave around through here? How far back can we go by water?
We can go about another 1.5 miles. We got to be careful at the moment and stay to the right of all of these posts.
Do people come out? You can't come out here in a big boat. You have to come out in a kayak or a canoe.
In actual fact, you need a permit to come out in a motorized boat. And obviously, when we're doing this with Fish and Game permission.
But if somebody wanted to come out in kayak or canoe, they just rent them and go on the tours.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we can see over here, we can actually see an island forming in one of the areas where the sediment has built up. So we're at a high tide, and you can see this little patch of cordgrass there in the water. So that's one of the things we're concerned about, that the whole salt marsh is going to move this way, and we're going to lose all that open water.
So it takes constant care and concern to keep this the way it's supposed to be?
Absolutely, and there's a big balancing act because certain birds, their habitat is the salt marsh. We have an endangered bird called the light-footed clapperrail.
Oh, I know. We've
and
heard about
that's the habitat of that bird. And then I talked about the least tern, which is an open water bird that dives for fish. So that needs open water.
I feel like I'm getting a tour.
You are. I love doing this.
Is this what you do?
Saturdays and Sundays, I love to take out those kayak tours, actually. I don't come out in the electric boat. I actually like to come out in the kayaks and during the week in the outriggers and take school kids out and teach them about the bay. We have kids that come down from East LA and other inner city areas, and this is the first time that they've ever come to a place and been able to see birds like the egret and the heron, and they just have such a kick.
Well, just to be out on something like this is magical. It's just magical. Boy, we have had a wonderful day here at the
Upper Newport Bay Ecological Reserve and Nature Preserve.
And we're talking about how many acres?
752 acres for the reserve and another couple hundred acres with all the incorporated properties.
Yeah, because we haven't seen everything yet. We didn't even have time to go see the Nature Center.
Nope, up there in the bluffs there, hidden from everyone's view, is the Peter and Mary Muth Interpretive Center, which is run by O.C. Parks. And this is a beautiful facility. It's a free entrance, open 6 days a week. And there are so many neat exhibits where people can really learn what an estuary is, learn all about the habitats, the adaptations of the birds.
Boy.
It's an amazing facility, and it's really a shame that we're not going to be able to see that.
Well, we can't see everything, but boy, we have seen a lot. 900 acres. It could have easily been totally developed. A huge marina, a huge housing development here. But it hasn't been. It has been preserved and saved for future generations of Californians. Right here in Newport Beach in Orange County, this wonderful reserve that's here for all of us to enjoy and is very much a part of California's gold. Hope you've had as much fun as we've had. Come down and see this place for yourself. Here he goes. Oh! Got his lunch. What a great day we had. And if you'd like to go on this adventure again, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727 and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.
Warm sunshine, swaying palm trees, and breathtaking ocean views make Orange County the OC, a relaxing vacation destination that is always in season. 42 miles of inviting beaches are right next door to world-class shopping and internationally renowned art festivals. Close by are championship golf courses and two of California's famous attractions, the Disneyland Resort and Knott's Berry Farm. Log on to visittheoc.com today. Learn why in the OC, it's forever summer.
Laguna Beach. Soft sand beaches, hidden coves, majestic canyons. Be inspired or simply disappear for a while in this historic artist village in the heart of Orange County. Dine at world-class restaurants, dolphin watch, kayak, or just tan on its sun-soaked beaches. Home to world-class arts festivals, Laguna Beach is filled with unique galleries and shopping, a museum and playhouse. Enjoy oceanfront lodging, walk cliffside, or explore tide pools. Do it all or do nothing at all. Laguna Beach.